Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 2. I am Rachel David White, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Tinubu arrives in Riyadh for Saudi Africa Summit. Reps to engage NIPS in redevelopment of Nigeria's security measures. Plus, Israel reopens road for Gazans to move south. We'll bring you details of the stories and many more in a moment. We begin the news this afternoon with Nigeria's leader, President Bola Tinubu, who has arrived in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for the Saudi Africa Summit, scheduled to be held on Friday. At the Middle East nation, the Nigerian leader was received by ministers and members of the National Assembly as well as other government functionaries at the airport. Tinubu will use the opportunity of the summit to underscore Nigeria's commitment to attracting more foreign direct investment and expanding business partnerships. According to this presidential spokesperson, Ajuri Ngalale, the visit would strongly reinforce the administration's ongoing domestic economic reforms. Meanwhile, President Tinubu has approved the appointment of Mohammed Issa to serve as his senior special assistant on disability matters. The special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngalale, disclosed the appointment at the State House, Abuja. Ngalale stated that the appointment follows Tinubu's determination to ensure that every segment of society is sufficiently catered for within the ambit of the renewed hope agenda of his administration. He noted that the president tasked the new appointee to proactively create avenues of opportunity for inclusion through the inculcation of PWD requirement, people with disabilities requirement, and perspectives in the policies and programs of all ministries, departments and agencies of the federal government, while working closely with subnational authorities to build a national consensus on PWD-friendly policy and environmental conditions in collaboration with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, NCPWD. In the meantime, President has also appointed 20 Nigerians to serve as federal commissioners in the National Population Commission, NPC. 9 of the current commissioners were reappointed for second term in office, while 11 others were newly appointed. In a statement by his spokesperson, Ajuri Ngalale, the president charged the new and returning NPC commissioners to successfully implement all measures taken by his administration to produce effectively appropriate, accurate population data with which lasting solutions to Nigeria's socio, political and economic challenges can be conclusively developed and executed. Meanwhile, President Tinubu has recently stopped the implementation of a hike on electricity tariff and insisted that subsidy be paid on power consumed nationwide. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, revealed this at a press briefing in Abuja. Adelabu stated that the federal government would investigate the legality of the 5-year license extension given to privatized power distribution and generation companies, stressing that the operating licenses of the firms would have expired on October 31, 2023. The minister further stated that non-implementation was causing liquidity crisis in the sector, but also stressed that the president had refused to allow a rise in electricity rates. He, however, pointed out that tariff would be increased at the appropriate time, which would be after sensitization and communication with the public, adding that there must also be an assured incremental and regular supply. Now from the Green Chambers, where the House of Representatives has resolved to engage the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS, in redeveloping the nation's security measures and making it an integral part of the solution. The Green Chamber has also resolved to review the welfare of members of the armed forces and paramilitary organizations who risk their lives to keep the nation safe by improving their incentives. The resolution of the House followed the adoption of a motion moved at the plenary by Abdulsamad Dasuki. Moving the motion, Dasuki said Nigeria faces numerous security challenges, including insurgency, terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, communal clashes, cybercrime, and general criminal activities affecting all regions and citizens' lives. He expressed worry that critical and urgent interventions, as indicated by the National Security Committee's summit findings, are essential to address the security issues preventing further escalations of violence and instability in the region and safeguard the lives and assets of the communities. In the meantime, the House of Representatives Committee on Federal Capital Territory (FCT) has urged the Minister Nyesom Wike to prioritize security of life and property in the nation's capital. He also implored the former River State Governor to commit his energy experience and network to improve on revenue generation and fund the infrastructural development of the FCT. The Chairman, House Committee on FCT, Mukhtar Aliyu, gave a charge in Abuja at the inaugural meeting of the panel. Batara, while urging members to dedicate their time and energy to the realization of a renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu, said the committee could not afford to fail FCT natives and residents in the task entrusted in them. On labor matters, members of the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) and the Trade Union Congress (TUC) have mobilized their members for a protest at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja today. The organized labor gathered at the airport to enforce their directive to members working in the aviation sector to stop all flights to Owerri, the Imo State capital. The protest is part of a series of actions that the two labor unions say they will zero in on Imo State following the attack on the NLC President Joe Ajaro. Recall that the NLC and the TUC had declared a nationwide strike, which will commence on Tuesday, November 14th, also because of the face-off with the Imo State government. In a separate development, the Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Betakun has appointed Tunju Disu as the new Commissioner of Police in Rivers State. The IGP also redeployed Onwoye Meka from Rivers State to the force headquarters in Abuja. The redeployment, which was announced in a statement by the force spokesperson Muyiwa Adejobi, followed a political crisis that rocked the oil-rich South State last week. According to the statement, the IGP also ordered new postings for 14 Assistant Inspector General of Police and 24 commissioners. Back here, the draft recurrent and capital estimates for the 2024 budget of the state government, with the policy thrust of supporting the execution of the Arise agenda, has been adopted by the Akwa Ibom State government. The State Commissioner for Information, Inyememebong, who disclosed this while briefing newsmen shortly after the enlarged State Executive Council meeting, said for the 2024 draft budget estimate, which was presented by the State Commissioner for Finance, the total recurrent estimate is 352.7 billion naira, while capital estimate stands at 487.895 billion naira, bringing the total budget to 840.632 billion naira. On the Geographic Information Systems Aqua Gigs, the Commissioner noted that the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on ICT, Frank Ekpenyong, had also presented the software applications to be deployed in the execution of Aqua Gigs payment of bursary awards to undergraduates and project monitoring and evaluation. He promised that the apps would help in the efficient administration of the various programs to which they will be applied, stressing that the governor therefore charged the SSA to ensure that technology used to plug all loopholes of financial leakages within the government system. Government House correspondent Jane Ura reports that the information boss also announced the EXCO directed that the State Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs should strictly enforce the excellent law of the State House of Assembly, which mandates all principal officers in local government areas to reside within their jurisdiction, adding that the approval was given for emergency intervention at Afiansat village in Eket local government area to stop the erosion and reconstruct the destroyed portion of the road. Now to Africa, where Kenya's government has imposed a charge for national identity cards in the country. Reports say Kenyans have been acquiring ID cards for free upon reaching 18, but new applicants now face a fee of 1,000 Kenyan shillings. The cost of replacing ID cards has also increased 20-fold to 2,000 shillings. According to reports, the new charges, which come amid a spiraling cost of living crisis, have ignited widespread outcry among Kenyans, especially on social media. Still in Africa, Libya International Criminal Court prosecutor has updated the United Nations Security Council on the progress in human trafficking investigations. The prosecutor Karim Khan said his office has undertaken over 15 investigation missions and collected more than 4,000 items of evidence over the last 6 months. The update came 18 months after the implementation of a renewed strategic plan for the work of ICC in Libya. On a foreign scene, the Israeli military says it has today reopened an evacuation corridor to allow civilians enough in Gaza, where much of the war is taking place, to move to the south. The Israel Defense Forces, which has been telling Gazans to do so for weeks now, says this will be the 5th consecutive day for Salah al-Din corridor is open. Avichai Adre, the military spokesperson for Arab media, said on the movement, though the main road running the length of Gaza would be permitted. Reports say about 50,000 people managed to evacuate the north through the road. United Nations Humanitarian Agency said this is the largest number of a single day since the corridor was open. And still on a foreign scene, Palestinian Red Crescent Society has said that a total of 106 trucks carrying food, water and medical supplies arrived at the Rafah border crossing between Egypt and Gaza, and growing calls from international aid agencies for a ceasefire to allow more aid into the besieged enclave. The society said the delivery from the Egyptian Red Crescent did not include desperately needed fuel, which Israel was banned from entering Gaza, claiming Hamas would commandeer supplies for military purposes. According to the Palestinian Red Crescent, the supply brings the total number of 8 trucks into Gaza since October to 756. Still to come in the news, NBA champions Denver beat Golden State in basketball game. To stay with us.
For brilliant broadcasts and entertainment, sports on the go, and news around the world, watch Spectrum TV on StarTimes DTH Channel 421 and free-to-air frequency 12733. Visit our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by gross them. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the Constitution.
My Lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My Lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My Lord, the Matters Council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my Lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court,
Is
my Lord.
this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my Lord. These cases are in court, my Lord. I'm just reminding your Lordship.
My Lord, sorry, my Lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. Over now to our business news. In our business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has disclosed that every banknote remains legal tender and should not be rejected by anyone. This is as Apex Bank directed all its branches across the country to continue to issue different denominations of old and redesigned banknotes in adequate quantities to deposit money banks. This disclosure was contained in a public statement issued by the Director of Corporate Communications of the CBN, Issa Abdul Mumin, in Abuja. Issa further advised members of the public to reduce the pressure on the use of physical cash and embrace alternative modes of payments. And still in business, the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) has revealed that the oil and gas sector in the country failed to attract foreign investment for the first time in Q2 2021 amid the global push for cleaner energy. The NBS, in its Nigeria capital importation Q2 report, stated that the federal government failed to convince IOCs to invest in the oil and gas sector between January and June. The report showed that the country had no foreign capital importation into the sector in the period under review. The period comes on the heels of various divestment efforts by international oil companies into having cleaner energy and to neighboring countries as a result of commitment to a United Nations agenda that seeks to cut emissions from fossil fuels to zero by 2050. In health, the coordinating minister of the Health and Social Welfare, Ali Pate, has said that the rotavirus disease claims the lives of more than 330 African children under the age of 5 every day, along with a significant burden on families and healthcare systems. Pate said who was represented by the Director General of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Dr. Ifedayo Adesifa, noted that nearly 250,000 children under the age of 5 succumb to rotavirus annually. The hundreds of thousands more are hospitalized. Reports say rotavirus is the leading cause of severe diarrhea in children, and its impacts is devastating, leading to countless hospitalizations, misuse of antimicrobials, and tragically, the loss of lives. Still in health, stakeholders at the ongoing 33rd Annual General Meeting and 17th Scientific Conference of the Nigerian Society of Pharmacognosy have emphasized the crucial role of natural remedies products in promoting human health and reducing the burden of disease. The Osun State Governor, Ademola Adeleke, represented by the Commissioner for Health, Jola Akintola, at our at the four-day event stated that it was important to reconsider and appreciate the inherent benefits of the natural products in the promotion of the well-being and improving healthcare outcomes. The commissioner further emphasized the need to strike a balance between preserving biodiversity and utilizing natural resources responsibly. Now to sport, where Nikola Jokic scored 35 points as the Denver Nuggets beats the Golden State Warriors 108-105 contest. The Warriors edged in front of a third quarter after trailing for most of the game by outscoring Denver 3-1, 2-3. The reigning NBA champions recovered from the 5-point deficit to start victory and stay top of the Western Conference. Reggie Jackson scored 20 points and Michael Porter 17 for Denver, while Stephen Curry's 23 points led to the scoring for 2022 champions Warriors. Still in sport, Football Association has announced that the Women's FA Cup prize fund will be doubled to a total of £6 million. The winning of the final will receive £430,000 up to £100,000 in the Mo 2022-23 season. The FA's Director of Women's Football, Sue Campbell, said the funding increases was a positive step towards a long-term ambition of achieving equal prize money. On our entertainment news, the popular media personality, video jockey, and actor Oladotun Ojuolape Kayode, popularly known as Dutun, has lamented the growing trend of Nigerian artists and event organizers charging in foreign currency to perform in Nigeria. He said despite the artists on the genre being homegrown, but now place the booking fees in the United States dollar, including events in Nigeria, the reality star described the new development as quite strange and bizarre on his X handle. Still on entertainment, rising Afrofusion sensation Trace Selassie has revealed a new single, International Local Babe. The song captivating visuals are brought to life by director R.D. and Focal Inception handles the eye-catching photography set on a bridge town in Ghana with colorful Ankara and Kante outfits. Trace's Selassie proudly shows off her heritage and affirms she is a local babe. Reports say International Local Babe is the first single from Tracy Selassie this year, and she is eager to share more new music soon. Many thanks, and that's all we have for you at this point. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 2. I am Rachel David White. Good afternoon.